Kia ora, this is Nikki, aka Kiwi Cruisette. I'm currently on a 48-state USA motocamping trip. I'm about 3 months into my trip, and I've had a couple of people reach out and ask me about how I choose my campsites and how I navigate to them. Now, camping can come in a couple of different variations. You can use the government campgrounds that are inside national forests. You can go to private campgrounds. These usually have a few more facilities such as showers and laundries. Also, inside national forests, you can do something called dispersed camping.
Tonight I'm going to do some dispersed camping. So this is camping that you can do out in the wild. There's no designated spots, there's no water, there's no toilets. You're allowed to do this anywhere in the national forests of America. Or on BLM land, which is similar, sometimes overlaps. I've had people ask me how I pick dispersed camping sites. Well, the first thing is, how do I access them? I'm not on a dirt bike, so I really am restricted to sites that I can find off access roads. So forest access roads, I'm on one right now. These are often signposted. You can sometimes find them on Google, but they're roads that let, maintenance trucks, fire engines, logging trucks through. You can take these into the national forest, and then usually you will pick a spot that's just a little bit off from that road. I think the expectation is that you are a certain distance away from roadways and waterways. What I look for is, it's nice to be a little hidden. I don't like to have myself, available for anyone to see who happens to be driving past. When I'm dispersed camping, I want to be left alone, and that also means I want to leave other people alone. If I see someone else camping out here, I'm not just going to go park up next to them. I'm also going to look for a place that looks like it's already been used, maybe as a campground. I haven't seen anyone else on my way up this road. It's been about a couple of miles. Oh, this is actually the perfect spot to pitch a tent because you're obscured from the road. I thought that might be a dead animal. It's not. It's the remnants of a fire. So it looks like someone else has pitched a tent here, which is good. It means it's a good spot. Oh, there's a squirrel. So I'm gonna have a camp neighbor. So as far as dispersed camping sites go, this is primo. These trees are gonna obscure anyone who's driving past from seeing me. One time I was dispersed camping in what I thought was a really secluded spot, and then I kid you not, a group of 50 people ran past on a morning run, like a group run, right by my tent. So as it had turned out, I had pitched my tent right next to a running trail. So it's good to avoid that. I mean, you could pitch a tent anywhere up here, but we've got a good spot down there. So this road I was told by a local about, and it just stretches on and on and on. So you really have infinite spots that you could pick for camping. So good. Why would you pay for a campground when you could just camp here? Look, more people. Yeah, you do need to be careful about poison oak, poison ivy. So I did do a bit of a search about what wildlife I can expect. There is, a lot of harmless stuff like deer, prairie dogs, which is a new thing for me. Prairie dogs. Rattlesnakes. They do have them out here. So when it comes to snakes, you don't want to pitch a tent on their snake hole. So do a little search. Now they're not going to come and find you, but you do just want to make sure that you're not encroaching on their territory. So it looks pretty good here. All right, I'm going to set up camp.
Oh, I have a bird friend. So dispersed camping isn't for everyone. I know a lot of people get worried about security. They feel that they may not be as safe as they would be in a public or private campground, but I would argue that I feel safer often out here. There's less people around. And once I'm in my tent, I could be literally anyone. In fact, chances are I'm a big scary biker dude. I have bear spray, I have mace, I have an air horn, I also have a switchblade. I've never had to use these things, but they are important to have just in case of an emergency. That includes coyotes or bears. So when it comes to finding a campground or a national forest, how do I find them? So me personally, I use my Butler motorcycle maps. These maps I am the biggest fan of. They not only serve to show you the best roads in America for motorcycle riders, but on the maps they have little tent icons. I just head towards the nearest tent icon, and usually there is room for me, and if there isn't, I will do some dispersed camping. Now, a pro tip, if you get to a campground and it says campground full, go and talk to the campground host. So a lot of these campsites do have a host who resides there for the summer. They manage the flow of people going in and out, and often they have a spare campsite, or they'll give you permission to camp out in the car park. Now, a lot of other moto campers use apps or websites to find their campsites, but I can't rely on apps on this cross-country moto camping trip where I have had plenty of nights that I've had absolutely no bars of service. I think the best ones that I've heard people rave about are iOverlander, Free Roam, and The Dirt, but there really is a myriad of apps that you can use. Now, to supplement my Butler motorcycle maps, I also make sure that I download my Google Maps. So again, if I don't have service, I can't use any of my apps or my cell phone. So downloading Google Maps is the easiest way for you to be able to capitalize on all the information that it holds. Type in campground into my Google Maps search, and it would show me all the campgrounds within my radius. Now, if the weather gets really bad, there might be mechanical issues, you might find yourself not wanting to camp. Now, you could roll into a motel, or you can use Facebook, Bunk a Biker. So this is a group that is set up on Facebook. Stay either in someone's house or in their backyard, fellow bikers who have put themselves up on this map. There is also an Adventure Riders tent map. So if you go on advrider.com, go into the forums, have a bit of a dig around. There is a ton of people who have put their house up on the tent map, and they have made their yards available for you to throw up a tent overnight. With this sort of thing though, you do have to be a little bit more organized. So there's lots of different ways that you can go about moto camping. There's the public campgrounds, private campgrounds, dispersed camping, and then camping with fellow motorcyclists who have offered up their private property for you to camp on. Alright, that is all from me about camping and how I find my campsites. I hope this was helpful.